cat.
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. Thank you for joining me. This is kind of like that I'm feeling really off my game edition, but we'll get through the next half hour or so just fine. If you want to give us a call tonight, 203-753-7593 is the studio line. Got the phone set up. Happy to hear from you. Give us a call. Anyway, for anyone who was paying attention, there was no show last week. My mom passed away. I want to thank everybody for all of the moral support, all my Facebook people and, people, my studio people and friends, and, everybody's been really great. I have to give a super shout out to my friend Stacy, who has gone typically above and beyond. She's been there for me by my side literally through a lot of mess, and she's just, everybody should have a friend like Stacy. There's just, if you don't, you're missing something. My thanks to Sarah, who made me 2 pounds of my favorite pasta cheese, a family favorite, which, yes, I ate it all. And to her husband, Mark, who delivered it. To my dear old friend, Bob, who was my muscle man this week, helping me out with a lot of stuff, spent some time with him this afternoon. My family has been great. They're not close by, but they've been calling me and checking in, and it's been tough, and just trying to get through it. And I just really want to thank everybody, like I said, particularly Stacy, because through the tears, through the inappropriate laughter, and there has been some, because come on, really, what's life without inappropriate laughter? Yeah, right? Kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember Mary Tyler Moore and the episode where Chuckles the Clown died and they're in the funeral home and she's laughing. Yeah, well, I had a moment like that, and it was just whatever. But anyway, thank you to everyone for your support. I do appreciate it. I'm just trying to still work my way through it. But anyway, here we are now. Like I said, studio lines are open, 203-753-7593. I've got a theme for tonight's show based on an incident that happened this week. I'm always pleading, save these dogs, get them out of the pound, don't let them die. They don't deserve to end this way. And, I stress the urgency of saving their lives. But I don't mean that you should do it hastily or irresponsibly. And we're just seeing a lot, the rescue people are seeing a lot of stuff going on that it curls your toes, because what are people thinking, okay? You saving them from the pound, from death, and then placing them in harm's way by other means, it really doesn't accomplish the task. If you're going to save a dog, if you're going to pull a dog from the pound... Oh, look, I got a call. Good evening, you're on the air.
Hi, Theo. It's Carol.
Hi, Carol, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. My son wanted me to call you. There's a kitten underneath his porch, real small, and the mother's pregnant again.
Oh, boy.
And he wanted me to call and tell you because he's concerned about it. The kitten's friendly. I guess my daughter picked him or her up, but it's small.
It's a very small kitten, and it's all by itself out there?
Yeah, underneath his porch on 200 Stone Field Drive.
Okay, you know what? Does John know how to get in touch with you?
No.
Speedo. Does Speedo know how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, he does.
All right, you know what? I will give you a call and see what we can do to help that kitten when we're off there, and you can
We gotta get the mother, too, because kittens after kittens.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Is the mother friendly?
No.
The mother's not friendly.
Kind of wild.
Wow. Okay. All right, I will get with Speedo after the show, and we'll give you a call
Okay.
And we'll see what I can't pull together and arrange.
I didn't have these 2 cats, which are getting older. I would take the kitten, but I just don't want to risk it because they might get too jealous.
Oh yeah, well, you also, if you're going to take a kitten or a cat in from the outside, it's always a good idea, to get it to the vet and get it checked out and make sure it's healthy before you mix it in with yours,
Yeah.
So, all right, I will get your information from Speedo, and I'll see what I can work out to try to get.
Hope to see you soon.
Okay, absolutely, you will, I promise.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, my cat people. We've got a feral mama that is apparently not friendly, that needs to be trapped, and a friendly kitten that I need someone to take. So Facebook me, call me, text me, email me, pawprint713@aol.com. You can Facebook me on Pound Posse Presents or my personal Facebook page. I know there's a lot of you out of there that do the cats, and if I had to grab a kitten and hold on to it until someone else could, then so be it. But I'm going to need some help with this one. So I will make some phone calls if I have to. But please contact me if you can help, because, yeah, it's a kitten under a porch and a pregnant mama who is not friendly. So we got to help her out, too, so she stops the cycle, because it's just going to keep happening and happening and happening, and that's where your trap, neuter, return comes in. For those of you who are not familiar, you take them, you vet them, you spay them, and you let them go again if they're not going to be able to live in a home. So at least they're doing their thing, but they're not reproducing and contributing to perpetuating that feral population. But anyway, thanks to Carol for giving us a call, and we will do something about that as soon as we can. All right, so as I was saying, we can't have people not taking the responsibility for these dogs when they pull them from the pound. It's not about, woohoo, look at you, you're a hero, you saved a dog, when we're finding out that the dog ends up in another pound, that you gave it away to somebody else, that the dog is like, I heard a story like within 2 hours, posted on Craigslist. Yeah, sure, you take a dog in and it's absolutely your right if you want to foster it or whatever, but to send it back out into the universe without its best interests at heart, without having, you pull a dog from a pound and you get a voucher for shots and for a spay or a neuter. If you don't at least take care of those things before you send that dog off, you're not doing it any justice, because you just don't know who's going to take that dog, want to breed it, just perpetuate, again, the situation of the overpopulation and just be irresponsible. Furthermore, when you irresponsibly put a dog out into the universe, as I guess is the way I'm going to be putting it now, you don't know, if you're not aware of what you're doing, you don't know who's taking this dog. You don't know whose hands you're putting it into. I'm not a fan of Craigslist, and I've had the debate with many people who say, I buy great stuff on Craigslist. Well, a dog isn't a stuff. A dog is a life, and the horror stories I've heard of, like the scammers that are trying to do things on that venue are just unbelievable. And do you really think that you can trust everybody? That's the bottom line. There was a lot of stuff that happened this week, all right? There was a dog who was adopted, and, it was all that, woohoo, great, happily ever after or whatever. Then come to find out that, we find her by accident in another local pound, and she's not in a good position, as far as ever getting out of there. The woman, we contacted her. She, I couldn't keep her anymore. Another phone call. Good evening, you're on the air.
Hey, my son just just talked to my son Mark,
Uh-huh.
and he said he wants to know what happens to it after, and he'll give a donation or some food or something.
Okay, all right. I will call you off the air, and we can work out, if he wants to help us, trap it and take care of it. We'll give you a call off the air, okay?
Yeah, he's going to be having surgery in about a week or so.
All right, I'll call you when the show is over, okay?
Okay, bye.
All right, thanks. All right, so we contacted the woman. She couldn't keep the dog. She gave it to her aunt's friend. The aunt's friend, I don't know what happened, but this dog ends up in the pound. We never got the full story because the woman stopped answering phone calls. Again, that's that whole she didn't get handed off responsibly if she ended up in a pound. You can't just take a dog and then not follow through with it if you're gonna have to place it. There's plenty of us out there on Facebook who want to help. If you have a dog and you can't keep it, if you have a cat and you need help, there's plenty of us out there who have connections who can help you place a dog. It can be a daunting experience to try to find just the right situation to put it in the right hands. There's a lot of people who are just trying to make money. There's this whole thing now called dog flipping, and people are pulling dogs from pounds. They're not doing anything with them, and they're trying to turn them over to make a buck. How do you justify making money off the back of an animal who, again, you're just sending it off without regard for where you're sending it? The average person, it's very deceptive. You can look good on paper, and you can look at a shelter person in the eye and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to love this dog and it's going to be great. And yeah, sometimes they're a little shady, and sometimes people can fool you. So even the professionals, so to speak, can get fooled. How do you think you're just like Joe Blow from the neighborhood going to pick up a dog and think you're going to rehome it? How do you know? Are you checking vet references? Are you, taking an application? Are you looking for holes in the story? It's a process to place a dog. Sometimes you get lucky and solid people. Like when I placed little Odie with Allison's friend Sandra, I got lucky. She knew that woman. She could say, I grew up in that woman's home. She's wonderful. She always had. I didn't have to stress it out. But not everybody's that lucky. Shelters have a process. Most of them, the municipal pounds really don't. They don't have the staff or the means or the wherewithal. And that's another part of what I want to see. I mean, people should help, all right? You've got a lot of pounds out there. There are some that have incredible support. You look at Hartford and Sherry, and she's got so much support. That woman is amazing, and the people who support her are amazing, and they go the extra mile to do everything they can in their power. They take an application, they try to screen people. Yeah, it's not always foolproof, but they do everything within their power. There are other pounds who just don't have that wherewithal, and it happens to be what it is. There are some pounds that have Facebook page. There are some that don't. There are some that use Pet Finder. There are some that don't have the time. If you contact your local pound and find out what they do to try to place their dogs, and see what their needs are, maybe you can help. Maybe some of these dogs who end up in these pounds that, who knows? Maybe it's the same story as this dog this week. She was adopted from somewhere. She got dumped. She probably would have died in that place, and no one ever would have known if we hadn't found her. But this wasn't a place that gets a lot of exposure. So how many dogs live and die? They get picked up, they get turned over, whatever. They live and die in their last days in that pound, and no one ever knows they're there because there's no manpower, there's no help, there's no system in place. Why don't you be that person to go address that animal control officer, that particular pound or shelter, and say, hey, look, what do you do? Do you have a Facebook page? Do you use Pet Finder? Do you need help? Most of the time, no, they're not allowed volunteers, and it has to, you're not going to get hands-on with the dogs and pictures and all that. It's kind of a catch-22, and I've been involved with it myself. There's only so much you can be allowed to do, and there's really more that you're not allowed to do. But if you've got a willing animal control officer, you can even call like their superior, their police chief, and very calmly and politely say, hey, look, I really want to help. I see the need. What can I do? I'd like to do a Facebook page. I'd like to help get these dogs saved. There's just too many of them that live and die without anybody even knowing that they're there. And, this whole situation this week has brought a lot of things to light. And I think that more people need to get involved. I mean, a lot of people don't even know they have a pound in their town. That kills me. How do you not expect, you can't have your head that much in the sand where you don't know that you even have a pound in town. I mean, there were people who told me they didn't know there was a pound in Waterbury. Come on, really? That's crazy. But I mean, a lot of people aren't tuned into the same or plugged into the same channels. You know what I mean? And I understand that. I talked to the woman in Newington, because I did call to follow up on Lux, and that was unfortunately over a week ago, so I don't know whatever happened to him. He was still there, and that was one of the dogs, if you remember, that I was hoping and praying for and saying please help save him for my birthday. I did talk to that woman, and that's another pound, Newington, that really doesn't get the exposure. They don't have the manpower, they don't have the wherewithal to get these dogs properly advertised and networked. And so it's up to us. If you can't, there's a lot of people who can't adopt, and there's a lot of people who can't foster, and that's understandable. But if we're all going to be that village that saves these dogs, we can all do a little more. And some people really, they want to help, but they don't know how. Well, I'm giving you a new channel. You'd go see your local pound, Google animal control in whatever town you live in, and see what comes up. Go out on a limb, talk to these people. They're either going to be receptive or not. If you have a receptive animal control officer, like I said, you may have to go to the chief of police, because most of them are part of the police department, and calmly and intelligently muster up everything you've got to say, hey, look, these dogs need help, and I'm in a position to do something. Let me do whatever I can do, even if it's taking pictures through the kennels and putting them out there on Facebook yourself. It's something. A lot of places don't want you to do the Facebook page, the friends of, and all that other stuff. They're just like controlling and all that, but that doesn't mean that you can't do something. I mean, there was a wonderful woman who for a while was involved with the Bristol Pound, and she had her page, Bristol Saving Grace, and she used to go down there and just take pictures and try to hawk these dogs, and she took it upon herself to do. She did it with the cooperation of the people in the pound, but you got to go down there. You got to give it a shot. Yeah, we've discussed before how hard it is to go to the pound. You go down there and you see these dogs, and their days are numbered, and it's hard. You walk away and you know that you really would rather see them on a comfy couch and living the life that they deserve, and you're going home to your dogs who are all set. But then go home and hug your dogs and make that pact with yourself that you're going to work harder to help them, because they need it. If it's not for the people that are doing this work, these dogs just don't get out of there. So that's like my high horse. Don't save a dog for the wrong reasons. Don't take it out of the frying pan and put it into the fire. Adopt responsibly. If you're going to place a dog, place it responsibly. If you have any misgivings about who you're giving a dog to, then don't give that dog away. There's just too many people who, even if your intentions are the best and you really care about the animal and you think you're placing it well, you may be fooled by the person you're putting it with. Again, there's people who just want to make a buck off a dog. There's people who will give them to research, give them to fighting rings, give them to all kinds of things. And so you just really, really, really have to be careful. Even when they end up back in the pound for whatever reason, it's not like you saved it from death in this pound and it's going to be better off in another pound. It just doesn't work that way. It's just prolonging that dog's suffering, because unless it's on somebody's couch and being loved and fed treats and belly rubs and everything else, that's no life. You didn't save anything. You really didn't do anything to better that dog's life, and now you just put its life at risk again, and it's not cool. And I guess that's pretty much my soapbox for the night, because I could beat the dead horse, but try and get involved. Share these dogs when you see them on Facebook. Check out your local animal control. See if there's a way that you can help. Sometimes, they're so busy, they don't really know how to take advantage of the social media and even Pet Finder. It's sad that there's a lot of shelters that don't even use Pet Finder, so perhaps you can help them on the way to get current with that, or they'll let you set up a Pet Finder account or something. From what I understand, some of these pounds don't even have computers, so it's really impossible. They do need the help. Again, the chief of police in whatever municipality you're in could be a strong ally, because usually everything has to go through them. And just do what you can. It's not a lifetime commitment, but if you get something like that up and running, you'd be surprised at how many dogs it can really help that are otherwise, like I said, sitting there. Nobody knows they're there. They sit there till they're dead, and really that's disturbing to know that there's some pounds that get all the attention because they ask for it, and some don't get it because they don't know any better, or they don't ask for it, or nobody knows that they need the help. So step it up, people. Step it up, and it takes a village, and do the right thing and help these animals. Help them, protect them. And if you're gonna pull from a pound, do it responsibly. If you have a dog you have to rehome, come to somebody who has a little bit of experience, who has a little bit of exposure. I'm not saying it has to be me, but there's a lot of us out there who can guide you and share in the right places, and try and be prepared. If you have a situation where you have to place an animal, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. There's so many out there that need homes. It takes a while, so you can't wait to the last minute. You can't expect that, oh well, I and I hate the term, I have to get rid of Fluffy. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to be in it for the long haul, until that dog can be safely placed, and not just dump it on the first heartbeat breathing person that comes along and says, oh yeah, I'll take care of your dog. All right, a couple of events. We're winding down here. There's Kenway's Cause is tomorrow in Manchester from 10 to 2. That's a City of Hartford event. I'll have that posted on my Facebook page if you need more information. 10 to 2 tomorrow in Manchester, Kenway's Cause. Go visit all my friends, my lady friends from Hartford. I believe Renee Danino from 105, the River 105 is going to be there, and she's always a great time. She's really a wonderful, wonderful dog lady too. She's great because she helps us out. She shouts out our pound dogs. She's definitely a very strong supporter in Hartford, but she answers the call for Waterbury quite frequently, and we certainly appreciate her because she's got certainly a farther reach than the little Pound Posse does and any Facebook page. But if you guys remember Katie Cusack, who was my guest a couple of weeks ago for It's the Pits, they have their Pictures for Pooches tomorrow in Milford from 10 to 6. And if you have a dog that you're fostering and you want to get some really nice pictures to do posters with or something, they have a little setup there to help you out with that. And I'll tell you, if you're a model, you like to have, the great shots and all that. So if you've got a foster dog, you want to put, that dog's best foot forward, by all means, go down there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Katie even said she was taking those pictures herself, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, support these groups that, are looking to see you there, and it'll be a beautiful thing. Just looking for the wind down here because we're kind of, a couple of minutes going. Anybody wants to call in, there's still another couple of minutes, 203-753-7593. Again, we've got a kitten situation on our hands. We've got to try to get a little kitty in off the streets, and I have friends that do that frequently, and they get overrun with kittens, and it's a hard process, but it can be done. So somebody message me, Facebook me, email me, something. Let's try to help this little kitty that's under a porch, and the mama cat, who clearly is a mama cat again. And that's really so sad, I usually promote the dogs so heavily, and there's definitely a need for the cats. And like I said, I do know people who devote themselves to doing this, and it's like really, it's an honorable thing, because the animals need us, folks. I mean, it's beyond me how anybody can turn their back on an animal in need, and how people can just, be so flip as to, well, I don't want it and I have to get rid of it and all that. An animal's a lifetime commitment, and there's no greater love than a dog or your cat, and you just really, it's a life, and you need to cherish it, and you need to protect it. And oh good, I've got 30 seconds. I'm babbling. I told you, this is like I'm not on my game night here, but I explained why. And here we go. Peace, love, and dogs over my credits all the time, and kitty cats too. We're going to say goodnight. Join me next week, and maybe I'll be more up for it. I've got a sign. No time left.
Really? But